All right, everyone. Welcome back to Just an Introvert podcast. I'm Abbie.
I'm Amy.
We have been on a little winter vacation extended. Oh, we'll do it next week. And then 3 weeks later, oops. So we're back in the new year, new us. Thanks for coming back for more. We are still here. So Amy, what have you been up to over the holidays? How's the new year treating you?
So far, so good. I had a 3-week break off of school, and it was really nice. It was nice to have the Christmas holiday at the beginning of that break because it really felt like I could decompress at the back end of it. We didn't have much planned. I think we did one overnight trip, but that was about it. And
Nice.
so, yeah, I watched a lot of TV. I read books. Kuro got lots of walks. It was just really nice to just like veg and chill and yeah, sleep
To actually
in
be
and
able
all
to
that stuff.
relax over a break and not fill it
Yeah,
with, yeah, yeah,
stuff. So it was great.
nice.
And I met with a couple friends for lunch, but I didn't fill all my days with stuff. I used to
Yeah.
in my past life, I was like, oh, I gotta get together with this person. And now I'm like,
Hmm.
no, I don't need to do
Yeah,
that. So the people I really wanted to connect with, I reached out at the beginning break. We set something up, and then I was like, okay, I'm good. Just like
perfect.
a true introvert.
Finally
So,
figured it out. That's great.
yeah. So how about you? How was your
Good.
holiday stuff?
Good. I feel like I was on a break because my husband's a teacher and he was on his winter break. So I'm like having him home and just the logistics of getting out of the house when I'm going to work and, leaving the kids with him instead of a babysitter and all that. It's a
Right.
nice, like, oh, and my daughter not having school. I did not even think about how nice that would be because we usually have to be out of the house by like 7:30 and I have
Hmm.
to be almost ready because then I come home, have like 20 minutes to finish getting ready for work and then I go. So I was like, "Oh, wow, I can actually sleep in. Like I don't have to get myself ready and drag two children out of the house by 7:30 every
That
morning."
is a true
So,
break, a
yeah, that
mom
was really
break.
nice. Yeah, and the holidays were good. I felt like overall it was a good, restful, fun
Yeah.
couple weeks. So yeah,
Good,
yeah, good
good. That's
stuff. Yeah.
awesome. I know one thing I forgot to mention, my daughter graduated from college.
Yes, yay,
She hasn't
Riley.
gone through the ceremony yet, but she'll do that in May. But so yeah, I'm a college graduate and she's at home and she's like, it feels so weird to
Yeah.
not be having to go to school. And so anyway, she's going to be subbing while she waits to go in the credential program. But like, I'll get texts and she's like, I emptied the dishwasher and I took the dog for a walk. And I'm like, thank you.
Yeah,
So
it's
it's
weird having
nice.
been in school your literal whole life and then it stops and you're like, "Oh, what do I
Yeah.
do? I'm not in school."
Right.
Like it's a weird
So
transition,
bizarre.
but
So yeah,
oh, so
it's
cool.
good.
Alrighty. Well, we are back for another fun episode. So our last one was on the Myers-Briggs personality test. So we wanted to do the Enneagram test as well. Like we said, we were gonna finish those up before the holidays, but that didn't happen. So here we are. But we've got a lot of good info for you. But as always, we're gonna start with our icebreaker and would you rather. So I'm gonna start with our icebreaker. And again, this was one I had ready for like Thanksgiving. So I'm like, screw it. I'm still going to use it. Okay.
Go
What
for it.
is I'll generalize it a little more. What's your favorite holiday food?
Ooh,
Or
holiday
top
food.
three? I know top number one favorite. I'm terrible at picking one, but like three to five, whatever are your favorites, I should say.
Like any holiday.
I was thinking more like Christmas, Thanksgiving. I
Okay.
feel like there's a lot of overlap in those. So
So honestly, I love the Thanksgiving meal. Like I get so excited for it. And then after I have it, I don't want to see it again for a literal year. And
it's
then the year
perfect.
comes around and I'm so excited again. It's so funny.
Hmm.
I even made I turned my leftovers, I froze them one year into little individual like lunch things. I'm like,
Mm.
oh, I can have Thanksgiving in May. And I would bring it to school and I'm like, I do not want this.
Why
What
did
was
I
I
do this?
thinking? So anyway, I love
Ah,
Thanksgiving food, and then I also love like Christmas ham. We don't do
yes.
the Christmas dinner as much anymore because
Hmm.
we kind of do things a little differently.
Yeah,
uh, but I really do love like the ham and the gourmet potatoes, homemade rolls, and all that stuff. So
yes.
yeah, I'm all for the food. It's
Agree.
very exciting. So how about you?
Agree. I know. I love Thanksgiving, but the every year I like further confirm I do not like turkey. I don't care how you make it. I'm like, sure, like a good turkey is like comparable to like a bad ham, so I'd rather just go with
Mm.
ham. Like even if you do it
Yeah.
perfectly, I've never been like super wowed by it and it's so much work. Like I've thought I should do one because I've never done one on my own before, but I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna put so much work into it and be like, this is gonna be good, and then it's just gonna disappoint me. So I definitely prefer ham. My husband's family do a lot of meat. Like this year they did, like they'll do tri-tip and prime rib and like all sorts of other meats, which is always really nice. But
Yeah.
um, and then as far as like the sides, I love green bean casserole, I think is like one of my tops. The gourmet potatoes, specifically the ones you make, because we've discussed, I've had them from other people and they are not as good as yours.
Not quite as good.
Yours are the best. And then I feel like we've done it on both sides of our family, the strawberry jello pretzel
Oh, mhm.
salad.
Yep,
I
those
love
are
that.
good
I need
ones.
to make because that's not super holiday specific. I'm like, I
No,
need to make that.
I've had that like at Easter time. So
Yeah,
I
I was
feel
gonna
like
say
we're
summery, it
like,
could be a yeah.
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 I'm with you on the turkey. Like, and I made one before. I made a couple and I hated it. Like
Yeah.
the process of making it, eating it. So that's why we get our turkeys from Popeyes now.
I want
Popeyes
to
makes
try
it.
that.
It is delicious. You just literally warm it up. And so that's the only way I do it now. And
Yeah.
then, but honestly, I'm here for the sides. Turkey's like,
Yes.
I could care less, to be honest. I want all the Thanksgiving sides. Those are the
Hmm.
star of the
Yep.
meal for me. So
Absolutely. Agree.
I'm with
Agree.
you on that.
Uh,
I'm hungry.
I know.
Um, okay, so would you rather? I think I probably thought of a few when we were on our hiatus and I forgot them, but I came up with one. So, would you rather text someone, like someone that you know, and say, sorry, I didn't make it last night? Or would you rather text them and say, looking forward to seeing you
Oh my gosh.
and no
Probably
contact?
Probably the last night because I feel like you can get away with that a little bit better. Be like, oh, sorry, wrong person, or then like stressing them out because their response is gonna be like, oh my gosh, what did I forget? I feel like the people pleaser in me, which is so perfect to tie into this episode, is
Yes.
like, I couldn't stress them out, so I would do the opposite.
Wouldn't you be so freaked out to get a text like that?
That's exactly what I'm
What?
thinking. Yeah,
I
yeah,
would
no.
die. Oh, so I'm gonna
Uh-huh.
see you. Oh my gosh.
Ooh, whoops. What about you?
Probably the same because I
Yeah.
feel like you can go, oh, wrong person instead of
Yep.
like, what do you mean I'm gonna see you? It's kind of harder to get out of that one.
Cover that. Exactly. Oh my gosh. Good
Uh,
times. I love these. This is
yes,
like
okay.
the level of awkwardness that I can handle. And I'm like,
Yes.
okay. And then I'm like, now I have to prepare for all these would you rather scenarios that are never going to actually happen, but I'm all
Right. And
paranoid
then you
about. But
stress about them and you're like, well, it's
yes,
literally
like
fake. But
Abby, this is not real life. Calm down.
I don't know if you're like me, but I will think of fake scenarios in my head and then I'll hurt my own feelings. And I'm like, after a
Yes.
while going, this is not even real. What are you doing, Amy?
Yes. People talk
Stop.
about like, oh, I had a dream that my husband cheated on me. I'm like, I don't need to dream it. I will come up with this crazy scenario in my head. And I'm like,
Yeah,
why am I pissed at random?
I
And I'm like,
know.
well, I'm glad I'm not the only one. Oh, oh my gosh, that's
Uh,
hilarious.
so funny.
Oh, alrighty. So today,
Okay.
like we said, we are going to talk about the Enneagram.
Mhm.
So I'm going to start with a little bit of background info, and then Amy's going to dive a little bit deeper into the specifics around us. So if you haven't heard of the Enneagram, I feel like it's a little bit newer of a personality assessment. I feel like I've heard it a lot in like church circles that I feel like people really, really use it. The history behind it, yay for me, it's another person with a difficult to pronounce name. I was like, great. As soon as I saw that, I was like, but I don't think he's as popular as Carl. So I'm like, cross my fingers, I'm saying this right. A Bolivian man named Oscar Ichazo, that's what we're going with.
Okay.
He did a lot of traveling in his 20s and 30s to Argentina, Asia, studied a lot of ancient wisdom traditions. So, learning all sorts of things from different cultures, very interesting process to come up with this. And then in the 60s and 70s, came back and taught at the school he created called the Erica School. So he took stuff about psychology, cosmology, metaphysics, spirituality, and like combined everything and taught these groups, and kind of came up with the Enneagram assessment. And if you're familiar with it or if you've ever looked it up, they have that really kind of daunting looking symbol. It almost looks like this like weird satanic, like
Does.
it's weird when you look at it. You're like, oh
Yes. I still honestly looking at it now, it's still
yeah, it's
I can't
bizarre. Yeah.
process
And
it.
it kind of like messes with your brain. You're like, where are all these
Yeah.
lines pointing? It's like
Yeah.
those boards that people make in movies with all the red string, and it's
Right,
just like,
right.
oh my gosh. But he took like stuff from Pythagoras, like the Pythagorean theorem, some like
Mhm.
math related stuff. So just a lot of interesting things that went into it. So created that. The basic structure is, again, you've got the circle. There's 9 points around the circle with a number, each one correlating to one of the basic personality types. And then they're connected with those inner lines. So when you're looking at it, 9 is at the top, and then going clockwise goes from 1 back up to 8. The lines, again, it looks very overwhelming, and breaking it down kind of helped. So those inner lines kind of connect different, basically each personality number is connected to two others, and then some are all connected together and blah, blah, blah. We'll get into that later. But um, again, that displays all those personality types. And then, so there's 9 of them. There's actually 3 centers, which I hadn't heard of before. So they're grouped in sections of 3. So 8, 9, and 1 is a center called the instinctive center. The 2, 3, and 4 is the feeling center. And then the 5, 6, 7 is the thinking center. Kind of made me think of the Myers-Briggs, how they were broken up into kind of the
Mhm.
4 main categories. Um, and they all have stuff to do. Each of those centers correlates to a type of, so it says it has to do with types of an unconscious emotional response when you lose connection to the core of yourself, which was interesting. So the instinctive, which spoiler alert, Amy and I both fall into, the feeling associated that was anger or rage. And when I first saw that, I was like, I'm not an angry person. I don't see myself as that. So I'm going to read the little blurb because, again, I just thought it was very interesting, and I'd love to discuss if you relate to any of this. Nines deny their anger and instinctual energies as if to say, what anger? I'm not an angry person. Nines are the type most out of touch with their anger and instinctual energies, often feeling threatened by them. Of course, nines get angry like everyone else, but try to stay out of their darker feelings by focusing on idealizations of their relationships and their world. And then I read that and I was like, oh, maybe a little bit. Yep,
Mhm.
Amy's shaking her head. Yes, I
Yep.
totally was like, yeah, I think I fall into that pretty big. But
Totally.
yeah. Um, so that's kind of the basic of the personality types. All of this is on the Enneagram Institute. Had to do a lot of research to find like the right websites and for the tests and everything.
Mhm.
Um, but the other part that is a little less straightforward is the wings. Some people put more stock into it than others, but I think it's really helpful. So it's kind of your secondary type. So it's going to be one that's adjacent on either side. So for example, 9, you're either going to be a wing 8 or a wing 1. It complements your personality type, but it also adds kind of necessary contradictory elements to the personality to kind of see, okay, you're not all pegged into this one section, which again, I thought was a good, to
Mhm.
boil you down to one thing is kind of, I feel like inaccurate and not, um, I can't think of the word, but it just, kind of puts you in a narrow spot.
Right,
And
right.
there's so many differences. Some people talk about multiple wings, and there's a lot of, but typically you'll hear the primary number and then your wing is that secondary number. Um, as far as the Enneagram relating to introverts, Truity, which is the website we use to take the test, had a lot of information, which was kind of cool. I just Googled Enneagram and the introvert, and all that popped up. So it actually compared it to the Myers-Briggs, that there's in the Myers-Briggs, it's like two, introvert, extrovert as two opposite measures. But the
Mhm.
Enneagram, there's not really a clear relationship to, introverts are this, extroverts are this. They do say like the stereotype is that 5s are more introverted and 7s are more extroverted.
Mhm.
But they also said it's not fair to be like, oh, how are you introverted? You're a type 7, or, you can't peg people into those holes, but
Right.
kind of interesting. I'm sure there's a lot of introverts and extroverts in each type. They may present differently, and those parts of their personalities don't necessarily define them as one or the other. But
Mhm.
again, a lot that plays into it. It's, I feel like, a little bit more complex and overlapping than the Myers-Briggs. That was a little more straightforward, but thought that was all kind of some interesting info. But again, shocker, Amy and I are the same type. Like,
What?
even looking at our numbers, because you take the test and then it takes that wheel of 1 through 9, and you have, like, each one is a wedge of how much of each one you are. So the one that you're the most of is your primary type. And so even looking at ours, I feel like they're almost the same picture. Like, the
Yeah,
levels are so similar. It's
they're very
hilarious.
similar. Our 9 was like really big.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a total Enneagram newbie. Like I really
Yeah.
didn't know. I think I took a test a long time ago, but I didn't understand what I was taking. And when I got the number, I was like, okay. And then I didn't understand the wings. And so I
Yes.
just kind of put it out of my mind. And then when we talked about doing this, I actually got a book from a friend of mine. Shout out Amy Burrow. Thanks for lending me this book. It's called The Road Back to You, an Enneagram Journey to Self-Discovery. And it was a great book to read if you kind of are just an introductory type of thing. So it
Yeah.
really helped me understand on an elementary
Yeah.
level the types, the pros, the cons. And it was just like what they're like in relationships, what they're probably like as children. And so it was a much easier read than the the Myers-Briggs
The
thing I
Myers-
tried to listen to. That Niles still laughs at me. He's like, that was it. I go, I know. I don't know what I was thinking.
Ambitious.
Yeah. So, but this book really helped me like understand it. I actually like the Enneagram like even more than the Myers-Briggs. Like I
Mm.
just when I was reading it, like I was going that, read the description. Oh, that's Niles. And read another description, like that's my
Yes.
brother. So I'll have to ask
Yeah.
Kurt if I pegged him right, but I'm like, this has got to be
I
him.
do know his type, so when it comes up, let me know, and
Okay.
I can
I will
confirm.
I will okay, cool, cool. So that's just
Yeah.
kind of my foray into it. So I'm not an expert here, but I'm learning and
Yes.
all that good stuff. So
Yep. All right. I'll let you kind of take into your whatever you learned from your book.
so yeah, like I said, it went through all the types. It actually started with I think an 8, and I'm not quite sure why it started with 8,
I
but
think because of the way, like I said, the 9 is like at the top. So if you look at it like a clock, I feel like the 8 is kind of the beginning of it. I don't know why it's set up that way, but
okay.
yeah.
And he might have said in here, and I can't remember. But yeah, just looking at the diagram, always it still looks like a satanic
It
symbol.
does.
And I know that there are some like religious groups that are like, oh, this is
Yes.
just by looking at the symbol,
The
like, come on,
symbol.
people.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it was really it did a great job. Like I'll just talk about the subsections, it would tell like for type 9, um, what does a healthy 9 look like, an average
Mhm.
9, an unhealthy 9, what's their deadly sin, all about them. And then well, this is a 9s have a lot. Okay, and then like what they were like as children, what they're like in relationships, what they're like at work. And then it talks about the wings and then stress and security and then spiritual transformation. So it was
Mm.
really, I mean, it sounds like it's a lot. And then at the end, it would say 10 paths to transformation. So things
Mm.
each of the numbers can work on to be better, just like, overcome some of the maybe negative things. So it
Yeah.
was just really like interesting. It wasn't hard to understand. And it really just gave me a lot of insight. And I was just like, oh, and it also just really helped me to see why people do things the way they do. And I think that's
Yes.
what this are for. So now next time, Niles does something and I can go, oh, because he's this type, this is what he's coming,
Yeah.
this is how he's seeing it or coming, I can't see him at the fumbling my words here, but I can just have more empathy or just understand better.
In the
Like,
background. Yeah.
okay, and not be so like quick to be like, well, why is he doing it this way? Well,
Yeah.
that's the way I would go about it, but his type is going to go about it a different way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was really cool to like see it in that sense. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Nice.
yeah. So,
Um, so yeah, I copy and pasted. I'm not going to read all of them, but just kind of like a single sentence, and they all have like 4 descriptions. So the 9, which again is us,
mhm.
is described as receptive, reassuring, complacent, and resigned. I was like,
Hello.
4 for 4.
Nice to meet you.
Yes. And it's funny because I take this test. I'm literally taking it today. I did the same thing with the Myers-Briggs. I know what I've tested before. I get super anxious that I'm going to get a different result, and I'm like
I did
panicking.
the same thing, and I think
Oh
it's
my
because you said that last
gosh.
time, and I'm like, oh, what if so I really stressed at some of the answers. I'm like,
Yes.
I got to answer this truthfully, but is this going to make me this number? And I know I'm
And
not
then I'm
this
going to
number.
re-question my whole life. And then I was like, okay. And then it was like 9 by,
And then it's
a
like,
long shot. And you're like, okay, all right, it's
in
fine.
big bold letters, like, okay, yeah, yeah, wait,
Yes.
wait, wait,
Oh
good.
my gosh. So that's the basic, summary.
Yes.
But what else did you learn about nines that stood out to you? And we can,
So to
we
me,
say we're going to compare. Do we both feel these things? But again, I mean, come on, we've learned.
yeah.
Same
So
page.
what I have written, just a couple words, easygoing, and I feel like I'm pretty easygoing.
Yeah.
Gets along with others. I mean, I work in a job where I have to work with all sorts of different people, and I think I get along pretty well.
Yeah.
There's nobody that I really butt heads with.
Yeah.
Maybe in my mind I might be thinking something, but I just had to
Exactly.
work with them. Avoids
Externally.
conflict. That was like number one for me. I
Mm-hmm.
avoid conflict like crazy.
Yep.
So one thing it said, or a couple things it said, they can be too passive and willing to let things go to avoid a fight instead of confronting a problem. And that is, hello, that is me.
Totally.
I avoid conflict like crazy, but sometimes you have to face a problem. And I don't know how to do that. I don't want to be anywhere near the problem. I want the problem to just go over here, and I don't want to deal with it. I
Yep.
want to be an ostrich, stick my head in the sand.
Yes.
And
And you
yeah,
sit and avoid it, and then it gets like worse and worse and worse. And
yes.
you're just like, if I would just deal with this, it would be done. And I know I'm going to
Mhm.
feel better, but I
Yeah.
just can't. I've always struggled with that. Like difficult conversations, like my trick to it is I literally think, okay, what's the first sentence I'm going to say? What's the first word of that sentence? And I'm like, get that one word out of your mouth, and then the rest will come. It's just like that initial opening that is so, like, it makes me anxious just talking about it. It's so
Yeah.
stressful.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so that was a big one for me because I really do avoid it to a fault
Yeah.
where I do have to actually face some things. And then another thing, um, that I don't know if this might have been another number two, but I kind of don't like sadness. I just,
Hmm.
some people like to feel the sadness. Sometimes I like to watch sad movies. I like to cry, and I don't I don't like to cry.
Yeah.
I just don't want to. I guess it's just because I am avoiding any kind of conflicting emotions.
Yeah.
So I just don't want to do any of that. And I think the other type is, I think the enthusiast, number 7, is the same
Hmm.
way. They do anything to avoid that sad feeling, just happy, happy. And I realize, okay, that's
There's a little bit of
sometimes
that. Yeah.
I shouldn't be doing that. But so
Yeah.
those are things that stood out to me. But yeah,
Yeah.
everything I read about nines is like, yeah,
Yep.
totally
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. Agree. Agree.
So, um,
And both of our wings are um 1. I was just checking to make sure.
yeah,
Yeah, we're both 9 wing 1.
my 8 section was tiny.
Very
And
small.
when that was the start of the book, when I read that, I'm like, oh, that is like literally the opposite of me. And
Yeah.
it was really interesting to read because those eights are strong-willed, assertive, they stand for others, they make things happen. And they almost feel like if they don't do that, that, that they can't handle it. Whereas I'm like, I don't want to touch that. Like, it's just funny
Yeah.
to realize. So I can see how where they're coming from, because they feel the same way when they argue as that I
Yes.
do when I avoid an argument. And
Right.
so,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's interesting to see those next to each other because I definitely identify with the wing one, but my dad and I were talking about this, and I was just like expressing some stuff about like I have always had this very deep, strong like desire for justice. And I'm like, I want things to be, but I also have that personality where I don't confront and I don't like conflict. And he said, even though that might not be your wing, since it's an adjacent, that might be that little bit of that that's there somewhere. But I
Yeah.
totally agree. It's like that in that intense amount of like, I have to do something. It's like we have the intense, I have to not do something and avoid this. But I
Yeah.
do feel that in myself. And I wonder, because then I wondered, okay, because we actually took it, our extended family all took it on a vacation, which was kind of fun.
Uh-huh.
That was like 3, 4 years ago. So I thought, okay, maybe it'll be different, but I'm still the wing one, which
Yeah.
I definitely identify with that, which I want to say my husband was a one, but I can't remember. That was again 3, 4 years ago, and a lot has changed since then. But
Sure.
was one what you thought my dad was?
No,
No, oh,
I thought your dad was a 5, but is he a
okay.
1?
The last time I know that he took it, I could be wrong. It could have changed. I don't know. I know that it can adapt a little bit. The research I saw
Uh-huh.
says your primary is your primary.
Okay.
But because the one in the stuff I have here is principled, purposeful, self-controlled, and perfectionistic,
Yeah, and I see
which,
that in him, which
and you
is
said which one? You said the
when I in my book was 5,
5.
curious, problem solver,
Yeah.
wants to know how the world works, but can get lost in thoughts and lose touch with others, and
Mm,
just it's just interesting some of the things. So I'll have to talk to him and see,
yeah, I'd be curious
like,
because he's done a lot of research on it and done a lot of,
yeah,
he was really into it for a while. So I wonder if
yeah.
yeah,
And then
interesting.
I definitely, I mean, Niles hasn't taken it, but I identify him as a 2, helper. He puts other
Yes.
people's needs above his own. He's a people pleaser. And so when I
Hmm.
was reading that, I'm like, oh, this is
And I think Randall was between a one and a two. And I
okay.
think he was like a one wing two or a two wing one. Like the type one is very, because when we all took it, my dad was a one, Randall was one, and my brother John was a one. So it was like the eldest brother responsible, kind of that feeling,
Yeah,
which is very much Randall, but the
right.
two is pretty heavy with him as well. So I could see him. I
Yes.
can't remember which his primary was. I'll have to have him retake it. But yeah. Yeah, I could see that for sure.
But yeah, yeah. So I'll have to talk to him. And I mean, I not like I can diagnose people, but it was just
Right.
interesting some of the things I read
What
that I was
stands
like,
out?
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
So okay, so we're going to pretend that we're not recording this section again. I may have forgot to click the record button for the second half of this podcast recording until we got to the end and we were like done saying our recommendations. So
Yep.
anyway, just like our types, we just, I
And
don't,
what I was saying is it's so funny because Amy's the one that runs the Zooms. And so she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I can't believe. And I'm like, you're totally fine. It's not a big deal. But I'm like, if I had made the mistake, I would be freaking out. And she would be like, it's fine. It's not a big deal. So I feel like that's very nine of us. So here we go. If we repeat ourselves, I'm so sorry.
so we're going to try to
Do
remember
our
what we
best.
talked about. But whatever, maybe this is God's plan. It's going to be even better second half
Yes,
for you
it
guys.
is what it
So
is.
anyway, so
Uh,
most likely to be friends with my type.
yes.
So I think I would be good friends with a 7. Those are the enthusiasts. They don't like sadness. They are ready for adventure. They are optimists. They love being around others. And I think as an introvert and someone who is just kind of withdrawn, I need that push sometimes to be social, and they're fun to be around. And so I think I'd be
Absolutely.
drawn to them. I mean, I married someone who, I mean, I don't necessarily know if Niles is a 7, but someone who's outgoing. And
Yeah.
and they're just, and I have a lot of outgoing friends,
Yeah.
and people who would qualify as 7s, I think. And then
Mhm.
also I chose 2 because they are helpers. They care about people's feelings. They put other people's needs in front of their own, and I think that's someone I'd like to be around. And that's what I think Niles is. I think he's a helper.
Yeah.
So anyway, those are two I think I'd be particularly drawn to. How about you?
Yeah, I agree. The 7. So that was the first one for, again, what I have is just a real brief description of each one. I didn't research as much as Amy, but my thing says 7s are spontaneous, versatile, acquisitive, and that I feel like that, especially the spontaneous part.
Mhm.
I had a friend in college who definitely fit that, and I had so much fun with her. Randall, my husband, would be like, I'd come back from hanging out with her and be like, we did this, 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 and he's like, who are you? Like, what in the world? Like, I would just totally relax, and I could never initiate that stuff, but I
Right.
loved being a part of it. And I'm like, yeah, I'll jump on board and do whatever. Like, I really enjoy that. And I need that because, again, I don't naturally do that. So having someone else to kind of prompt that is really helpful.
I
It's
agree.
funny because at one point, you had mentioned the 8s kind of like being opposite of you. I feel
Mhm.
like I would be drawn to 8s in the fact that they're like self-confident,
Mhm.
they're decisive, that kind of thing. I think that helps me kind of work on some of those traits. So I do I would see that instead of that being like, oh, stressing me out or too much, I would see that as like something that I would enjoy being around mostly for the sake of like, okay, this is going to help me learn how to do that
Yeah.
myself.
That's I so it's funny because those I would say are so the two that are the most like triggering for me.
Yeah.
I would say an 8 because
Mm.
they're the complete opposite. Instead of avoiding conflict, they jump to conflict. And that's just like not a natural
Yeah.
thing for me. And I think I get frustrated because they tend to be the ones that argue. And I used to think, how can you live your life just arguing about things and but that's like normal to them. They feel good when they do that, whereas I feel good avoiding that. And so it
Yeah.
helps me to see. So that I think that would be triggering to be around someone like that. And then a 6, they are the type that are very suspicious. This is a government conspiracy, and they don't trust anyone. And that's exhausting to be around because at some point, I don't know. You got to put your trust in, and being someone who has faith, and as a Christian, I have to put faith in God, and so I just feel like it's hard to be around someone who just doesn't trust anybody.
Mm.
But what you're saying about 8s, I almost wonder if it's triggering because I probably need to be a little more open to not necessarily arguing, but, facing some of those things, those
Yeah.
conflicts that I run away from. So maybe that's
Yeah.
why that kind of gets me,
Yeah. Yeah.
riled
And
up.
who knows, in like reality, maybe that would stress me. I'm trying to think of people that I know that are more like confrontational. And I'm like, is that what that is? I feel like there's comfortability with
Mhm.
confronting. And then I'm going to make everything a debate. And there's a couple of people that
Yes.
I can think of that I'm like, that I can't stand because I
Yes.
don't care. I don't want to have this conversation. But when you are like, hey, this is something that's important to me and I'm going to stand up for it, that I'm like, I want more of that. So I do think
I agree. And
where that
that's
lands.
I'm with you on that because
Yeah.
yeah, there are some people that
Yeah.
that part gets exhausting where they just
Yes.
constantly. But if you're standing up for someone, I need that because
Yeah.
I won't do that for myself, and I
Yeah.
probably should in some sense. But I want to avoid the conflict. But avoiding the conflict, then you're not addressing the problem. And so anyway,
Yes. No,
but
that and it's funny about the 6s. Again, this is just a fun. I feel like this is the most in-depth where we've noticed differences in us because we align on so many things, all of
right,
our personality types and this, that, and the other, but seeing the minute differences is kind of fun. I I think becoming a nurse and as I get older, my suspiciousness has skyrocketed. I'm like,
yeah,
I used to roll my eyes at all that, but I'm like, I tell you, the full moons, labor and delivery, the first rain, something about the barometric pressure, I don't know, but those nights were insane. Like it's real. To me, it's real. But anyways, maybe
okay.
that's just situational.
So now that you talk about that, I have to just like interject. So I don't th I'm not real into suspicious that kind of stuff, but
Yeah.
I was talking to Riley. I had this. it wasn't necessarily a dream. It was like a memory of something happening that hasn't happened yet. I don't even know how to
Mm-hmm.
describe it.
Mm-hmm.
So she bought this glass in, um, where were we? Oh, in Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
And she uses it all the time. It's cute. It has like a little fake bear claw stuck in
Mm.
it.
Okay.
It's from the bear sanctuary we went to, I think. And I just have this like a vision, or I don't know, you know what you call it, that it just shattered. And I was like, so she was talking about, or I was telling her about it, but I didn't want to say like vision because I thought that sounded weird. So I was like, I
Yeah.
had this dream. And she goes, you know what? I had this like memory of the same thing, the glass shattering, same glass. And I go, okay, Riley, it wasn't a dream. It was the same. We both thought of this. It's like a deja vu. It didn't happen, but we both had the same.
Yep.
It's so weird. Like,
Did the glass break?
no, but I
Oh,
said,
that's what I was like. Oh,
if it ever breaks, we're going to be like,
we're witches.
yeah. So like,
That's
I
funny.
guess I can't discount every,
See, I'm such a bigger believer in that kind of stuff. I don't know what it is. I feel like I'm just way more open to that kind of stuff where I'm at right now. But I'm
yeah.
like, and two, again, being in the hospital, like you hear these crazy stories when you watch people on death's doorsteps say
Oh,
and like someone's dying in front of you and they're like talking to their grandma on the corner. Grandma's been dead for 10 years. You're like, ooh, there's something to that. So I'm much more that way. Again, I'm not superstitious. I'm a little stitious.
little
We'll go with
stitches.
Michael Scott on that. But yeah, no,
I think there needs to be a good balance. And I feel
yeah,
like I'm maybe a little too much on the don't believe in all that.
yeah,
And there's like a middle ground. Um,
yes,
so
totally. Agree,
I like
agree.
that. So
Um,
what are
I was gonna
a
say
couple that
which
kind of trigger you or whatever?
yes. The ones that I see, the first one that I'm just like, ooh, right off the bat is the four. So expressive, dramatic, self-absorbed, temperamental. I'm like, oh, that just sounds exhausting and too much. Like the drama, I'm like, this is why I'm not friends with anyone from high school. That drama, I'm just like, no, I'm good. I'm moving past that. Fake drama I love, but real life drama, I'm like, please
No,
don't involve
no.
me in that. The other one is the three, kind of in a less, I don't know. So adaptive, excelling, driven, image conscious is what that one says. And that again just sounds like, oh, especially the driven. I feel like a lot of the questions in the Enneagram test that we took were geared towards like, are you like driven to pursue in your career and like advancing and all those things? And that to me has just never been, I don't know if it's the career that I'm in, but I'm like, I'm not looking to like, get another degree or get my master. I'm like, I've just never been that way. I'm like, I'm good where I'm at. Like,
Mhm.
not to say I'm not driven, like I want to do well with what I'm doing, but I don't look to like climb that ladder and all of that. So that to me is just feels exhausting. Like I would not be, live in New York with all the corporate people like that. Just there's no appeal to
Yeah,
that for me. But
gotcha.
again,
Well,
just in my perusing, those would be the ones that jump out.
so that reminded me of a podcast I listened to this morning. Wasn't about the Enneagram. It was actually a fitness podcast, but the gal on the of that was interviewing or being interviewed, she was talking about finding your why and how she just has such a hard time with what is my why? What
Mm.
you're kind of delving into that. And she goes, and she's a teacher, and she goes, I'm in a spot where I'm content with what I have. I don't need to get any more
Yeah,
degrees. I'm happy where I'm at, but I'm happy to cheer on others who are doing that. And I feel that
absolutely.
way too. I don't have any desire to move, like upward. Like in
Yeah,
our district, it's like, okay, you're a teacher, then you got to go to admin, then you got to do this. And I'm like, no, I'm okay right here.
yeah,
I don't need to be in all these leadership roles. I'm
yeah,
fine here. But if you want to do that, I'm going to be, be your cheerleader. So yeah,
yeah,
I feel the same way. I cannot relate. But
yeah,
when you're talking about like the fours, now they're kind of more the kind of the musicians, the artists, the tortured poets. And I think being in music, I've been around a lot more of that type of
yeah,
person. And I can, even though that's really not me, I can sort of relate in a little bit, I think, with just um, just playing music and just being in that
yeah.
world. So I'm a little more familiar with that type, I guess. So
Yeah, yeah, no, and that's definitely different. I'm like, I'm not musically minded whatsoever at all, not an ounce. But yeah, I can appreciate that like for other people, but
Mhm.
I'm so out of, and I think it's just because I'm so not, I don't get all of that. Like my husband and I went to, when we were in Australia, we went to a one of their big museums of modern art, and that went over our heads. We just like, it was part of the travel thing that we did, and it was like, okay, yeah, cool, we'll check it out. And we got there and we're like, I don't understand any of this. I posted on Instagram way back when the one exhibit that we were like, I what? It was literally a bowl of water sitting on a chair. There was a live goldfish swimming in it, and there was a big butcher knife laying on top of it. And we're like, what is this supposed to? I'm supposed to have feelings about this or
Oh,
think what is this? I'm like, we were like, this is not for us. We are not these people. And we left. We didn't make it through. We're like, none of this. So that's just not how my brain is wired whatsoever. That just, again, goes over my head for
that's
sure.
it's funny
Yeah.
when I'm thinking about who I is that. I'm now this person hasn't taken an Enneagram test either, but my brother-in-law Jonathan, I can totally see is
Mm.
that because he can go into an art gallery and just be there all day, and it's just like, I don't know, he understands it on a level that
Yeah.
I don't at all, or he
Yeah.
appreciates those things, and so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, I
funny.
can appreciate some art, but the more like when we were in Germany and it was like, wow, that took a lot of work and it's beautiful.
Yeah,
Like I can appreciate that, but it's not like, oh, it's invoking feelings and that it's just like it
yeah,
stops at like that's impressive that that's a skill that you have and I don't, you know.
that's yeah, mhm,
Yeah.
that's kind of the level I'm at.
Yeah. Yep.
Um, but yeah, I'm trying to think, anything else we haven't covered? I mean, this has just been it's been great to, learn about it. Like I said, for me, I've been a newbie,
Yeah.
and, I really have enjoyed learning about all these types, and I
Yep.
see a lot of people, that I know I can kind of fit them in categories, but I can also it helps me understand why they do the things they do instead of because when someone does something, I think, well, why are they like this or acting this way or doing this? But that's because I am wired a certain way to react, where they're
Mhm.
wired differently,
Yeah.
and it just helps me
Yeah.
understand them better. And I can
Yeah.
see why people study this because it really helps communication and understanding and things
Yep.
like that. So
Yeah. No, for sure. It's helpful to like have and again, not to like put people into boxes and like define them by one thing, but just have that like perspective of like you said with the confrontation stuff. Like
no.
we assume it's comfortable for me, it's uncomfortable for everyone. Some people just barrel through. It's like, no, that's actually like their comfort zone. So having that helps
Yes.
almost remove the emotion from they're not doing this because they're upset with like at work
Yeah.
anytime there's any sort of conflict or disagreements of like if I have to say hey this like there was a incident on Friday with there was an appointment that a patient was going to come see me for but I'm like she doesn't technically need this so we ended up canceling the appointment and the doctor was like hey why did this appointment get canceled and I was like I knew I was right. I knew I was, but I was like, oh my gosh.
Uh,
And then she was like, okay. And then we talked later that day and it was like super chill. In my mind, I'm like, she's mad at me and we had to, but it was like, no, there was no, it was like,
right.
oh, just in that moment, she's comfortable being like, hey, I'm going to approach this and kind of come at it. And
Right.
again, I'm like, oh, there's no emotion tied to that. That's not like gonna rattle around in her brain all day that I'm did this, and
Exactly.
this. So yeah, again,
Yeah.
almost removing the emotion
Right.
helps
Right.
to navigate those situations.
And I was going to go back to the eights that I said they were triggering, but honestly, I have a few people in my life who are eights, and I do appreciate how they will stand up for things, and I feel like they will have my back, and that's
Yes.
comforting for me. And so, even though I can't understand being that way, and I don't know, being that strong will and assertive, I
Yeah.
certainly appreciate people out there who are willing to do that because I avoid things that I probably need to address.
Yes.
They're a good
Yes.
example of, okay, this is
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. No,
but
it's like we say, it takes everyone, it takes all the different people to make the world go around. So it definitely,
it really does.
yeah, that combination and how everything comes together is cool. But
It's very cool.
yeah, I think
I think
that
that
covers it. Cool.
we talked about pretty much
Recovered it.
everything that we talked about, brought up some new things maybe we forgot, but
Yeah,
it's okay. This
it's
is
all right. It is what it
It
is.
is what
This
it is.
is this is not a professional scale on any level. This is
Good thing
fun.
this happened to two nines that are easygoing.
Right? Could you imagine an 8 in this situation?
Oh my goodness. Or what are or the perfectionists or the
Oh,
achievers,
yep. Oh yeah. Now
you
we're just,
know.
could have been awful. But here we are. The nines, the perfect
It's
nines.
exactly. All
Oh, right.
right.
Well, we
Okay.
know our semi-awkward moment was oops, we didn't record half the podcast. But
Yeah, that's
real awkward moments. Let's hear what you got, Amy.
okay. So I'm going to do my biggie. And Abby reminded me of this. We were talking about it at Christmas break. And I'm like, yeah, I got to talk about this one. So I was on a jury. This is probably, I want to say, maybe 15 years ago or so. I can't remember the exact year, but my kids were younger. I was not working full time. I was subbing part time. So when, to go into jury, it was kind of, I was like, sure, I've never been on one. I don't have any work conflicts. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So I got picked to be on a jury that was supposed to last for 3 weeks. It was attempted murder. So it wasn't just like a 2-day thing. So I thought, okay, well, if I'm going to be on a jury every day in downtown, and there's a lot of amazing restaurants downtown that I never go to. But I thought, okay, I'm going to meet my mom every day at a different restaurant. This will just be kind of a fun thing. So we'd go to a restaurant on my lunch break, and they tell you in the jury, when you're listening, obviously don't talk about the case. And I didn't totally say give too many details away, but let's be honest, I was probably telling my mom a little more than I should have. But anyway, so we kind of spent our lunch days, chatting and things like that. So probably halfway through the case, we were at a restaurant, and I was doing my usual talking to my mom, and I turned to my left, and at the table right next to us was the judge sitting there eating lunch, and I'm just gabbing away about the case.
Oh,
And I panicked. When I say I panicked, I literally, I
oh,
just, I froze.
yeah.
And I was trying to see if like he, first of all, knew who I was
Yeah.
or was listening. It didn't appear that he noticed me, but like that didn't mean anything. I don't, know what was going on.
Yeah.
So I kind of told my mom, like, that's a judge.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
we finished up our lunch. I went back, got back in the jury box. Was very frightened, but I was just trying to like, okay. So the judge walks in, sits down, faces the audience, and he's like, I need to address the jurors. And
Oh
then
my
swivels his chair and faces us. And at that moment, I wanted God to strike me dead. I was so, I've never been more scared in my entire life.
oh my gosh.
I'm surprised I didn't pee my pants.
Yeah, I would have thrown up on the spot.
Yeah, and I thought, here it goes. I am a dead woman. I
Oh,
don't even want to face what's coming. And he looks at us, and then he says, I want to address the jury about your facial expressions. You need to keep them in check. So it wasn't about me. It was just
oh,
a general rebuke, but oh my gosh, lesson learned.
oh yeah.
I went, okay, maybe this is God telling me, girl, you need to stop saying so much about the case. What did the judge say?
Gosh.
And I have never been more scared in my life, and just wanted to.
Yeah.
That's the only time in my life that I was like, God, please strike me dead.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
like
want to live.
peak like big authority figure legal ramifications. Like that is
Yeah,
oh
I was
Lord.
absolutely mortified. So from then on,
Yikes.
kept my mouth
Yikes.
shut. And it's funny because people talk about, oh, I'm going to get in the jury courtroom, and I don't want to be on the jury, so I'm going to
Yeah.
say all these excuses and blah blah blah. When I got in there, I was like, where do I need to sit? What do I need to do? I'm not saying anything, but what
Yep.
answering their questions, like it's all. I was very like,
Very serious. Yeah.
yeah, no, I didn't take it lightly at all.
Not playing around with that.
Anyway,
No.
I
Oh
think
my
about that.
gosh.
I'll think about that every day till Tuesday. So anyway,
Yeah. Yeah. That's, oh my gosh. Oh, so
all
my
right.
awkward moment was it was over our break at some point. So when I work, I have an hour lunch and I usually go and grab food. It's, fast food, whatever. I've been trying to be better about doing more like local restaurants, just changing it up, healthier options and supporting local businesses. So, um, I had planned on eating at a Chinese restaurant kind of near my house, actually. And you kind of have to plan ahead because, like McDonald's, Taco Bell, you can just order from your phone, drive there, and you're set. But I was like, okay, I have to like plan this out. So I looked at the menu the night before, the morning of, I'd like figured out what I wanted, ordered ahead, figured out what time I'm going to lunch, how long it's going to take me to, like I had it all set and planned out. So I get there and I'm like so proud of myself, like hop out my car. And I walk in and the lady that's, the hostess stand or whatever is like, oh, I said, oh, I'm here for a pick up an online order. She's like, okay, what's the name? I said, Abbie. And she just kind of like looked at me and I feel like my name is pretty basic and easy to understand, but I was like, am I not enunciating? I was like, oh, for Abbie, and still just like no clue what I'm talking about. There's like a table that has all the to-go orders. And I'm like looking at them, I'm like, none of them look like what I ordered. So I was kind of like, what the heck? And she's like, can you double check? So I pull up my phone and I'm like, what in the world? So I'm looking and I'm like, it's the right date, it's the right time, because I'm like paranoid and triple
Yeah.
check all that stuff. And then I see the address. So I did not order to that restaurant called Dynasty. I ordered to the restaurant called Dynasty 40 minutes away in Modesto, down the street from my parents' house. And immediately I just was like, oh no, I'm such an idiot, but I also don't want to like tell this lady. I'm so embarrassed. So I just was like, oh, at the wrong restaurant. She's like, oh, okay, like implying that I'm gonna go around the corner to the other restaurant, not like I don't know what to do because I have to be back at work in like 20 minutes, and here I am. So then I just like get in my car and I was like, oh no. And what's funny was the whole time I was ordering, they have multiple warnings on their website about like if you don't pick up your food, please let us know to reduce weight, blah, blah. I'm like, who would do that? And here I am, like, the TikTok subtle foreshadowing should be popping up. Like, girl, that's going to be you in like 30 minutes. Yeah, oh my gosh. So then I'm like, okay, I just got to grab food on my way back to work. So there's a Carl's Jr. on the way. So I drive to Carl's Jr. I felt much better because I heard the gentleman working the drive-through say to me and the next customer, welcome to Burger King. What can I get for you at a Carl's Jr.? So I was like, none of us know where we are right now, and it's fine.
Oh my goodness.
But I was like, now I can't go to that restaurant. And then the rest of my workday, it was busy. I couldn't answer my phone, but I had like 3 missed calls and voicemails from the other restaurant, like, hey, are you picking up your food? So I'm like, cool, I can't go there ever again either. So there's 2 delicious Chinese restaurants called Dynasty that I
It's
banned myself from. So that was fun.
Oh my goodness. I know
Yeah.
I'm always so like paranoid that the address when I
Yes.
check, because like the McDonald's app,
McDonald's does it to you.
it
It's
changes it
crazy. It
on its
does.
own. I remember coming home from church one time and there's a McDonald's near our church, but I wanted to pick up the one that was closer to our house. So I put that in, put my order in. So I'm driving and I turn next to the one that's closest to the church. And
Mhm.
all of a sudden my app goes, what number spot are you pulling into? And I'm like, I, so I
Not what
had
I'm
to turn
doing.
and go in there. I go, I guess I'm getting McDonald's from
Oh my
here,
gosh.
but thanks for
Yeah.
letting me know.
It does that. And I'm like, okay,
So
chill, McDonald's
annoying.
chill. And then it was funny when I'm telling my dad this story, his response, of course, he's like, what day was this? I'm like, Thursday. He's like, why didn't you text me? I would have eaten the food. I
Oh
was like,
no.
okay, Kirk, free meal out of my
Oh my
embarrassment. But
goodness.
oh yeah,
That is
that was
so funny.
oh my gosh, it was painful. I really haven't been back there since, and I want to because their food looked good. We'll see. We'll give it some
Have,
time and
have you seen the meme of Homer Simpson where he just fades into the
into the bush.
background?
Yes, that
Is
was
that
me.
how
I
you
was like,
feel?
oh, I like
Get me out of
sprinted
here.
out of that restaurant. I was like, bye, gotta go bye. Yeah. Oh man.
Oh
Oh,
man,
good
those
times.
are definitely two awkward
Yes.
stories.
All right. So recommendations. We have to
Okay.
start with our joint recommendation. It's
Okay,
so good,
yes.
guys.
We can
Yes.
coordinate it this time since we're doing
Yes.
it take
This
two.
was planned, guys.
Exactly. So, over we got together for Christmas. We I saw this reel where the friends get together and they do a secret DoorDash. So they DoorDash something and have it kind of brought at the same time, and you don't tell anybody else what you get, and then you just kind of see what shows up. It's kind of a surprise. So I said, "Hey, let's try that." I threw it out to the family, And everybody seemed like, okay, but I was a little nervous, like, well, what if this doesn't work out? And I tried not to set any parameters, like any spending limit. Like I just didn't want people to feel uncomfortable. You know, me being a 9, wanted to make sure avoid any conflict.
Yep.
So anyway, it was so fun. Like
It was
everybody,
amazing.
I don't think we didn't have that many repeats. It was fun
No.
to see what everybody got. And I can't remember the last time I heard multiple people saying, "This is so fun. I loved it."
Yeah.
Like it was so fun.
It was at my house. It was our dining room table has never had so much food on it. We had so much food. It was like the funniest combination. I'm like, I got a fajita and then an In-N-Out fries and then the Chili's. It just was like, but it was all so good and it was such a great idea. It was so much fun. There's videos on Amy's social medias if you want to check out kind
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
result, but it was Oh, I would highly recommend it for family, friends, work get-togethers, especially if you're at a location. And I thought of this too. You want to eat, but it's like, do you prepare food? And then it's like everyone's got to bring it, and then the dishes and the mess. I mean, hey, I was at my house and I got to keep all the leftovers. And then the next day I went to my parents' house who were at that event in the beginning, and we had leftovers. And I don't think any of us repeated what we'd had the night before because there was so many options. It was
That's so
amazing.
funny. So yeah,
So good.
it was a lot of
Yeah.
fun. So we recommend doing the secret DoorDash. And not
Yes.
every it's funny because a couple like my husband Niles and my brother, they
Kirk,
don't like to do DoorDash
the
because
old men.
the extra.
Basically, insert the picture of the two grouchy old men Muppets in this moment, and that's what we compared them to.
So like Niles went and picked it up from somewhere, and then I know a couple people like brought it on their way. So not everybody did like
Yeah.
DoorDash, but everybody just nobody told anybody what they were getting
Yeah.
and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's just a lot of fun. So yeah, that's
So fun.
that's our joint recommendation. And then I have a
Yes.
few. So I will recommend the book that I read, The Road Back, An Enneagram Journey to Self-Discovery, The Road Back to You. And I'll put it in our show notes. But
Mhm.
um, it was really interesting, explained a lot about the Enneagram, but in an easy to understand way.
Yes.
It was really good. And then I want to recommend a gift I bought for my family for Christmas. It is a bird feeder with a camera, and it is the coolest thing ever. So
Oh, your family and your birds now.
we have this app, and every time a bird flies through it gives you a notification, and it'll even label some of them. And so it's like, oh, here's a sparrow, oh, there's a scrub jay. And like before, like I used to think birds are so stupid. Like they're just flying through the sky. They're not special. We'd go to zoos, there'd be a bird sanctuary. I'm like, who cares? And now here I am, like, I recognize that's a sparrow. I was so proud of myself. I'm starting to recognize certain birds and like,
Okay, the true introvert test. Do you pay more attention to your bird camera or your ring camera at your
oh,
front door?
bird camera, 100%. And hey, it has it's a camera of our whole backyard. So I'm like, hey, it might, if I have an intruder in the backyard.
Security,
Now
technically, yeah.
Riley's hoping so bad that like a squirrel or raccoon comes up there.
Oh,
That'd be her
yes.
dream, but
That
so
would.
far just we have a lot of sparrows. I'm like, oh, another sparrow. I'm kind of ready for like a new bird,
Something
but I
cool to
don't know if
pop up.
the new seasons will do that. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, so and then I have one more recommendation. It's a show I'm watching. It's not new, but it's called Curb Your Enthusiasm. It's by
Oh,
the co-creator of Seinfeld, and that's my favorite show. And it's on Max. And I'd heard about it, so I finally decided to start watching it. It's one of my shows that I watch while I do my Bowflex in the mornings. And it is so funny. Like it's my kind of humor. It's dry humor. It's pretty much like the Seinfeld
Is it
humor.
is it a sketch show or because I've
Yeah.
heard of it, I don't know like the format of it.
So
It's with
yeah, it's a
what's his
sketch.
name?
It's actually improvised. So they have the
Oh,
basic
okay. Okay.
and they improvise. And at first when I heard that, I'm like, oh, but it doesn't feel like it's still
Right. Right.
feels like a show that they, have dialogue written, but it's a lot of you know, comedians and people who are just good at
Yeah.
improvising because you
Yeah.
can't tell. And it's so funny. Oh my gosh. So
Mm,
anyway, so
that's
those are
cool.
my
Nice.
recommendations. How about you?
All right, mine is a TV show as well. I
Uh-huh.
just started it today. I'm obsessed. So it's called The Pitt. It's a new medical drama on Max. And you watched ER back in the
I
day, right?
did.
Yes.
Yes, loved ER.
So, Noah Weil, who played John Carter, who is
I love
like my
him.
favorite on ER, he's the main character.
Love him.
It's not like a sequel or related to ER, but I know one of the like writers, creators, someone, up higher is also on this show as well that did ER.
Uh-huh.
But it has that kind of medical, it's got a vibe to ER, like a similar, I don't know, the filming, some of it's kind of familiar, but the way it's set up is like the TV show 24. So each episode is
Oh,
an hour. My guess is they're going to do 12 hours, like a 12-hour shift. So it's in real time. So it's
hmm.
showing like the progress of that day. I think I never worked in the ER, but from like walking around and, going to the ER for various things, I'm like, it seems pretty spot on.
Yeah.
The medical jargon, again, I'm not an ER provider, so I can't say 100%, but it seems legit. The one thing that I'm like, you got it, is the way that they dress is
Mm,
accurate. Because a lot of
really?
those shows, I'm like, no one's doing that. But the way they have like the jackets, this is my little soapbox. Every TV show, there's a nurse wearing a cardigan. I have never seen a nurse wear a cardigan in my life. It makes no sense. It's like, it's got a bunch of holes. It's horrible to wash. Like no one is wearing cardigans. Everyone's just wearing regular jackets. But I rest my case on that. But so just little things like that. I feel like it checks out some of the, processes. I'm like, okay, no, that's medically correct. So there's 2 episodes out right now and I absolutely love it. I watched both of them today and I'm like, I'm hooked. So
Hey, I'll
you
have to
like
check
medical
that out.
shows, check that out. And again, if you're an ER fan, it's a little bit nostalgic to that because I loved ER as well. So
Love
that's my
that.
recommendation.
It's funny that you're talking about what they wear. So Niles and I are watching Castle. He watched it a long time ago with Nathan Fillion,
Hmm.
and it's just something that we watch together at night. And the medical examiner, and she's super cute, but always has her hair superly done, and while examining the body. And every
Hmm.
time I'm like, "There's no way you'd wear your hair down."
Yep.
I'm just always like, "Oh,
Yep.
it's not realistic." And I know it's, but
Yes.
I have to make a comment every
Oh,
time.
it's so annoying. It's so annoying. Randall gets so annoyed with me. Every time a baby is born, I'm like, that baby is not a newborn. That's a 6-month-old child. He's like, I know. I'm like, that is ridiculous. I have to say something every time. I
You
can't
can't help
not.
it. I mean, it's kind of like me seeing someone playing an instrument and they're holding it the wrong way. I'm like, the left hand goes on top, and that's not how you hold it.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
gosh.
So good.
All
Well,
right.
this was fun. This was a
It's good.
good getting back into it. I don't know.
Yes.
We've kind of discussed what we'll do next. I think
Yeah.
we'll do some like more chill, easier, lighter
Yeah.
topics. There's some fun stuff coming. So hopefully remember to record everything.
Oh my
I feel like
gosh.
that's a pretty good indication of,
Oh my
oops, we
gosh.
just got back from vacation and our brains aren't working yet.
I'll
But
have to see if the little minute video saved of us discovering that, maybe that can be our blooper
I
reel.
think it's not going to be the audio, it's the video of both of us just because we were at the
Yeah.
end
Yeah, the
and then all
video.
of a
Yeah.
sudden recording in progress pops up and we're both like,
Well,
oh no.
it's because I realized partway through when you were talking about your recommendation, I looked up in the corner and I went, is it not recording? So I
No.
pressed it. And when it did that, I'm like, shoot.
Oops. And you know how many times, anytime you see my hand getting close to my computer, I've been like, it's still recording. It's still recording, right?
In that just moment, I'll have to see if I got a video of that because
Yeah.
that's like,
Oh
are
no.
you kidding
But
me? But oh well. Hey,
it's all good.
I
We
think
had
that our
fun.
second half was good, and
Yep.
you know,
It all works out.
it's
It's
great.
all
It's
good.
great.
All
Uh,
right. Well, thank you for joining us once
yeah.
again. Again, we will be a little more consistent now that the holidays are over. We look forward to what's next and we'll see you next time. But thanks for listening.
Yeah, thank you.